Hello.
Hello.
Here we are.
Gotta get in frame.
What about cat? Just the group turned to look at cat.
To look at cat. My bad.
Yeah.
glance.
Always how it works. Mm-hmm. Always how this starts, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is forever brought to you by cats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cats and children.
And
Cats
random
and children.
noises.
And random noises.
Mm-hmm.
And innuendos.
Ooh, ew.
Sexual innuendos.
Especially for you two.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got overrated versus underrated today.
Yeah.
Back to anime.
Back to anime.
Anime.
What's our parenting stories of the week, guys?
I don't know. My kid was playing with the cats the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Blowing kisses at him while yelling, "Play, play!" and aggressively waving a wand toy at their faces, and would get very sad when they ran away. And I'm like, dude, you just gotta, like, wave it on the floor. And he goes, "Play, play!" And I'm like, okay, bud. Now hold the stick behind you and run in a circle around the middle island thing. And he's like, and he did it, and then the cat would chase him, and then he had a lot of fun with that. But,
nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to do that.
Brought to you by cats.
Cat.
Yeah. What did you do?
He just, like, jumped down into this cubby. And
Yeah, I know,
knocked
but he
the
knocked
dishes.
something off of the top, and I don't know what.
I don't know what he's messing with. Hello, good sir.
Looks
Oh,
like
it's
something
paper.
like papery or cardboard, or like a box.
A box.
He knocked
Yeah.
a box over.
A
That'll do it.
box.
But that was my child story of the week, my parenting story. Anybody else got one?
You got one?
I'm officially third trimester now.
Woo!
So
Home
that's
stretch.
pretty cool.
You got this.
Beyond that, I don't remember. I don't remember if I said this story last week or if it happened right after last week's episode. But there was a night that I was laying on the couch with my husband, and I was literally laying on my back, and she was so pushed up to the right side of my belly that my belly button was pointing to the side.
I think you said that's a snap.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So my belly button was pointing to the side, and I was like, I could not stop laughing about it for like 30 minutes. And then Zach was just laughing because I was laughing and everything like that. It was, it was a fun time. She just was like, let me just like pop your whole stomach weird, you know. I don't know. It was funny.
Pointed belly.
Mm-hmm.
What was your story this week?
Kachan had his school eval this week.
Yeah.
So, but I won't know how it goes until April.
Ooh.
April.
That's a
They
wait.
won't tell you for a whole month?
So what are
Why?
they doing for the school eval?
So, as you know, he was an OT and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
OT said no more.
No more.
Like,
Okay.
he needs a break because it wasn't working. It wasn't doing well at all. I'm like, that's fine. The school's coming. So basically what would happen is this school is a special school, and that he would go there and get the same, like,
The same.
the same kind of stuff, OT in a social setting, and be there like a couple days a week. So, for free.
Hey, that's nice.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah, Naruto is doing something similar. My school district offers like ECFE classes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they signed him up for that.
Nice.
They were like, we have a class that's in school coming up, and then he'd get more interaction with other kiddos. And then we could just do his speech therapy while he's there. And because it's part of that, he gets it covered by the school district.
Yeah, Deku will get that when he turns 3. He'll go to the school like 2 days a week and have the same kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Speech
but I
and
have to
OT.
be there with him.
Oh, I
so
don't.
ours is with the parents.
Yeah.
Until he's 3, and then he can start doing like a 2-hour once a week.
Yep.
You know, by myself, but they have to be like either 3 or really close to it.
Yep.
And then, but he'd be close to being able to do preschool at that point. But
Yeah.
he's born in September,
Yeah.
you know, right around
After.
cutoff.
Yeah.
And so he won't be old enough by the time preschool starts. Otherwise, he probably would just go to that.
You can always sign like some stuff and be
Yeah.
like get him. It's like he's born like what, 7 days after, 4 days after? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like
I don't know what the
September
cutoff
5th.
is.
It's September 5th, so he's born
6 days.
6
It was
days
6
after.
days.
Like of all things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Carter is smart enough. Damn it. Karchan is smart enough to go to school now. His behavior, though, is not.
Yeah. He's smart enough. We're working on the speech and we're working on the potty training. So they're like,
Nice.
just put this kid in preschool. And I'm like, is he going to be old enough in time? And then his teachers are like, oh, no, he's not. Let's start with ECFE classes. And I'm like, okay, sweet.
Nice.
They're like, we'll cover it. And I'm like,
Cool.
even better.
Sweet.
But they don't start till April, so we have to wait till then.
Nice.
All the things you get to think about
Yeah.
someday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully your kiddo won't need speech therapy or what have you. But you never
We'll
know.
see.
It's honestly not that bad.
It really
It
isn't.
really
No.
isn't.
Well, and it
And
really
there's
just
programs
depends
out
upon,
there.
like, you know, how much, like, she wants to, like, talk herself versus not kind of thing.
Although, from what I've heard from everybody who's talked to me, girls talk so much earlier than boys.
I don't know. Karchan started talking at like 6 months. So.
Well, I mean, like, full, you know,
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
progressive talking.
Got it.
My mom said that my sister and I were both chatterboxes at, like 9 months. We were telling her everything and anything we
Oh my
could think
God.
about in
Karchan
full words and
yesterday
sentences.
would not shut up. Like, just
Yeah.
constant talking. We're like, dude, just take a breath and, like, calm down. You have not stopped talking since you woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what she decides to do about, you know,
Yeah.
conversation and, you know, when she starts saying words or anything like that.
Yeah,
so.
fair. No, we have a lot of potty-related conversations since we're doing potty training.
Yeah,
So,
I remember last
yeah.
week when I was hanging out with you afterwards and I just got to hear him say poop several times.
Yeah. He says poop a lot, and then he'll say poop, and then he'll laugh at his own poop. He says wiener. We have to talk about how he has a wiener and how dad has a wiener and how I don't have a wiener. Because he says, my wiener? And I'm like, yes, bud, you do have one. And then he goes, dad's wiener. I'm like, yep, dad does have one of those. And he goes, mom's wiener? And I'm like, no, buddy, mom doesn't have a wiener. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, fair question. You know, you're learning your own body right now, trying to figure out how to go in a toilet. You'll figure it out one day, but I don't have,
I have
one
those
of those.
conversations every day.
It's gonna be interesting to see for me, like, how
Yeah.
different those conversations would be, because she does not have a wiener. She will not have a wiener as of, you know, this point in her life.
Yep.
Well,
Who knows? One day down the line, somebody
day.
wants a wiener. She can get a wiener, but, you know.
Yeah, we're just at the point of I'm learning my own body, and since I have these things, you must have these things. You know, that's where we're at. Like, I have a wiener, you have to have a wiener. But he's also at the mentality, I'm having a snack, so you have to have a snack. We all have to eat together. I don't know. He will purposefully grab 2 snacks so then somebody can eat with him.
Gotcha.
Cute.
If I'm drinking water, you have to drink water, is his mentality. So, yeah.
At least he keeps you hydrated.
I know, he does. And to get him to try new foods, we're cheersing.
Oh, yeah,
Everything
we do
gets
that too.
cheers.
We do
Yep.
that too.
I got him to eat broccoli the other night. He
Cheers.
liked it. Cheers. Cheers your broccoli. And he goes, I'm like, yeah, good job.
What animes are you guys watching? Since we're getting back into
Same as always. Same too. Although I've been wanting to start, like, something cat is depressed again. I forget the full name, but it looks
Okay.
good.
I'm on One Piece still.
As always.
They have more dub episodes come out, so must
Hey,
catch
you
up.
pick on me, but
That's
you're still
true.
on that one show.
It's like over 1,000 episodes.
No!
I waited the entire week for the next dubbed episode to come out for Apothecary Diaries, and then Zach wanted to watch things on the TV once it did come out, and so then I didn't end up watching it.
Oh, no.
So I have not seen it yet. I plan on probably watching it a little bit later. But it's okay because I spent a lot of this week, for some reason, don't ask me why I wanted to, but I started doing the diamond painting again. So I've been working on this one flower one. And so he turns on what he wants to watch, and I'll listen to it in the background while I'm doing the little dots. So
I don't know. At my coffee shop today, multiple people came in with their yarn projects, and I was just sitting there like, this feels like a yarn project kind of day.
Yeah.
I want to sit there and I want to crochet something.
Yeah.
I want to sit in a coffee shop and look out the window and crochet something. Instead, I'm sitting here working at a coffee shop
while others.
while watching others crochet something. I was just a little jealous. Yet she's trying to get us to feed her. It's not food time.
Mm-hmm.
She has to wait about 45 minutes.
There you go. I've been kind of thinking about asking you to teach me to crochet, Peyton.
I would gladly do it.
I swear, anytime I've looked at like videos online of any like crocheting or knitting, I'm like, I don't understand how this works. I don't get it.
We could have a workshop. I'll teach you guys how to crochet.
I used to know
things.
how to knit. I don't anymore.
I tried knitting and I made a scarf once, but I could never. I don't know. For some reason, crochet works well in my brain versus the way knitting works doesn't.
Gotcha.
I can grasp the concept of crochet better.
Gotcha.
I just figure it's a nice, easy like thing that you can like take with you pretty much anywhere. And like it's got, great functional uses. Like I could make my own things if I wanted to.
We'll go to the yarn store in town. Pick you up some stuff. You can find a yarn. I do a lot of stuffed animals, as you probably know. But I can show you how to
be a nice, easy way to like get into it, anyway.
Yeah, and I can show you how to do like read a pattern. I can show you the basics, all that kind of stuff. So
at this point, even if I could figure out how to make a sock, it'd probably get me started. So,
honestly,
it's just a tube.
If you can figure out how to read a pattern, you can do anything.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, well, at one point I was trying to do the wire weaving stuff and everything, and I'm like, but when I have a little one in the home, do I want to be working with a bunch of metal in my home that I'm going to be snipping into pieces and
yarn
like trying
is
to
a lot more friendly.
Yeah, it's a lot safer. The worst thing they could probably do is hurt themselves on the sticks.
Yeah.
But like even that, like it's not like they're sharp.
I'm not
like cut wire is. So
yeah,
I figured learning something like that might be a safer pastime for me.
It has the same kind of mentality, just with yarn instead of wire.
Yeah.
No,
I do still like wire weaving. Not great at it, but I like it.
That's fair.
So, should we get into it?
Yes, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So let's do overrated first, because I feel like that's easier.
Overrated? Okay.
I qualify overrated as
very well hyped, but you just can't get into it?
Or like hype beyond what it should be.
Okay.
Or
like Frozen.
Exactly.
Okay,
like
listen.
It's not bad.
A particular love for Frozen only because it's one of the first like bigger things that represents Scandinavian like people specifically. Like specifically it's Norwegian in origin, which is I'm very Norwegian. So that's the only reason why it matters more to me. But it's like the representation kind of thing, which sounds really funny because like obviously like a lot of people are like representation for like different like Polynesian cultures and things like that. But like nobody talks about the Scandinavian people either. And we may be white, but we're interesting. That's all I gotta say.
Okay then. I just think it's hyped with
it
kids.
Is kind of overhyped. Yeah.
Like kids going, absolutely insane about Anna and Elsa. I did not understand. There were so many other movies that I thought were so much better. Even growing up. Like it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong. It's just I don't understand the extreme hype about it.
Olaf was a really lovable character, and I know that helped. But like, in terms of I don't know why we like people were so into like Frozen over like Moana. Like
Moana was really good.
Not when your kid makes you watch it every day 3 times a day.
Well, that's fair, but like at the same time, like the same thing happened
I would
with
rather
Frozen.
watch Moana than Frozen personally at this point. But I don't know. My favorite out of the like princesses is Brave.
Mine too.
I like that one a lot. Yeah.
Well, should we talk about actual anime?
Yeah. I don't really have like so much for overrated personally, just because like there's a lot of anime that I think is really, really hyped that I still enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I guess, in some ways there are definitely some of them that, like, people were like, oh, you have to watch this, like, it's the best. And I was like, I mean, it was good, but, like, I don't know that I'd be, like, pushing everybody else to watch it.
Let's just say isekais overall are overrated.
That
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Just
There's some
too many.
There's some good ones, but the genre has been oversaturated
Because
to the
it's-
point where I don't want to dig through to find the good ones, and I want some variety on things to watch. I don't want to just only have to pick through which random isekai with a million words long name I have to choose.
Yeah, and it's the same concept.
It's the same concept.
It always seems to be, like, a guy, too, like, as the main character.
I've seen
like,
quite a few girls.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, okay, maybe I haven't seen
There's
any, but
there's a couple, but it's the same premise, it's the same concept, it's just a different way you start and get there.
Correct.
And then
I've been hit by a bus and now here I am in this
yeah.
all magical world.
Yeah. And it's like they're not bad, there's just too many.
There's way too many.
There's way too many. I want to watch something different. Something new. Can I have a new genre?
It's kind of like when like Twilight was popular years ago, and then everybody started coming out with vampire things after that. It's like there was one good one, and then people were like, let's all develop this idea. Like, let's all make a thing off of this. And it just gets boring. Mm-hmm. I understand that, like, people, like, do it because they're like, hey, like, we can capitalize on this idea, but there's also, like, probably, like, 50 other people thinking the same thing.
If you do something original, you're going to probably stand out more, especially in an oversaturated market. Mm-hmm. And by original, I mean not the same saturation as what you're,
Yeah.
I think Overrated also is like, everyone's like, this is really good, and then you watch it and your opinion is like, this is not as good as it could be.
Hate me, because I still did enjoy it.
Yep.
But I didn't finish it because I also kind of got bored. Demon Slayer.
Okay, it is on my Overrated.
Okay.
It is.
Because, like, I enjoyed it, but I found I was watching it more for the art and the animation than the actual storyline.
So when I went to Minneapolis a few years ago, when Demon Slayer, like, just came out, I was pissed because
that's only what it was.
That was everywhere. All the costumes, all of the merch, everywhere. And it was driving me nuts. I'm like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's perfectly great. The animation's awesome.
It's
but it is, like, up here when it comes to, like, it's so great. I was like, it's all right.
I got bored with the story.
The story is very lax, especially in the third one.
Story I didn't even get that far.
The third season could get summed up in 2 episodes and it would be fine.
I didn't even get that far. Like, I don't want people to be upset, but it lost my ADHD attention. Let's put it that way. I quit paying attention to the story. I watched it for the actual animation, and then I just kind of lost it altogether.
But animation
was gorgeous.
Was gorgeous, but could still only go so far as far as the story goes.
I think the first season was the best one, and then it just kind of...
I think that had the most amount of plot, and that's why it was good. After that, it kind of went downhill.
What about you?
I have not seen Demon Slayer at all, but I did immediately, like, once Demon Slayer was, like, being talked about, like, I also agree that I saw it everywhere. Everything was Demon Slayer. Even in places where I wouldn't have expected to see anime-style merch, there was still Demon Slayer stuff there. And usually when things like that happen, I'm like, oh god, this is like over the top kind
The
of
new
thing.
movie came out, and the new movie is just the first, like, 3 episodes of the new season.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole movie.
Yeah, my partner was like, do you want to go see it? I was like, no, I will wait the 4 months for it to come out, and then I will watch it, versus spending the $20 to sit there and watch it. No, thank you.
Yeah. Zach and I are not really, like, people that like to go to, like, movies all that often anyway, unless, like, we're really, really, like, we want something to do, or, like, hey, the premise of this sounds really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. Most of the time we'll just wait for things to come out and then watch them. Even if it means, like, just, renting it on, like, Amazon or something right when it comes out. before we buy it. But
I know I've made you go to an anime movie with me.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
it was fine.
I would certainly go to like, you know, movies and things like that. It's just like, but when I saw how much like Demon Slayer was like everywhere, it didn't make me want to go watch it.
Yeah,
that was kind of my thing.
You were less
like I was like
inclined.
a little bit curious about it, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, like I was like this looks like everybody. You know,
I'm definitely one of those
it.
people too that if everyone's doing it's like, oh, it's great, you should watch it. I still haven't watched Stranger Things, not a single episode.
I watched
It's just
that.
like one of those things. Like
But I picked it up like early on.
Yeah, it's not. It's like with a lot of things though. I didn't try boba tea till this year. Or last year, sorry.
I still,
you know, like
so many people tell me that I should watch Doctor Who, that I'm gonna love Doctor Who. I should totally watch it.
either.
I haven't because of the fact that so many people told me that I have to.
I was like,
I
why
don't
do I
want
have
to
listen
anymore.
Yeah.
I probably
My
would
Aquarius
like
is telling me not to do things. Don't tell me what to do. I don't care if I'll like it.
I've watched a little bit of Doctor Who, but like I've never sat down to the whole thing. I have sat down
Good catch.
to start watching like Stranger Things, and I could not get into it.
Oh, see,
Not my thing.
Yeah.
Though, do I love some of the things that have come out of it? I used to play Dead by Daylight religiously, and Dead by Daylight did a Stranger Things chapter. So there is like Stranger Things characters in the game, as well as the Demogorgons in the game. And do I think he's super fun to play in that game? Yes. Am I good at him? No. But yes,
I applaud your honesty.
I'm not great at playing any of the killers in that game.
I'm not great at playing that game in general. I died all the time. Either I would die or I would not kill anybody.
I'm like okay as a survivor, but I haven't played in a long time. And actually, they got like a bunch of new killers. Some of them original and some of them franchise stuff. Also, they added Nicolas Cage into the game. He's a survivor. I have to comment on that. I know this is completely aside from anime, like 100%.
Well, he was in that like Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff movie where literally he didn't talk the entire movie. I think he had one line at the end.
Well,
so that's probably why.
Has some unique voice lines with some of the other characters, which I think is hilarious.
Okay.
Like he has a unique voice line with one of the newer killers, which is Chucky. Chucky's now in the game.
No.
So he's got some voice lines with Chucky. Chucky also, this is, okay, sorry, we were watching a lot of this stuff last night too, Zach and I, but Chucky also is like the first killer in that game that actually like swears. It's an 18+ game because it's horror, but like they've never had a killer like voice line swear that I can ever remember before that. But Chucky will say like dipshit and like he literally says stuff like all the time, like running around, and I was like, holy, like this is a whole different like move for this game that he's swearing everywhere. But anyway.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like Stranger Things in my opinion was one of those like, things that also got kind of like overhyped. I was not it was not my thing. I just don't
like people telling me, like, you should watch this. Like, well, then now that you say that, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very much that person.
No, I started Demon Slayer because I was like, oh, this looks interesting, randomly on a whim, before anybody told me I needed to watch it. I watched the entirety of season 1 because I was like, this animation is gorgeous, and then lost it.
You were the one who told me to watch it.
I know.
And I thought it was great.
And then you watched more than me.
I did.
And then I lost interest. I started something else, and I just could not get back into it.
I also know what happens at the end at this point. So
Yeah, I've heard too.
I've already know. So at this point, do I keep watching it or do I just wait?
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it if you actually do want to watch it still. But, you know.
It's worth the watch. It's just...
I lost
You watch it for the animation, not for the story.
I guess I have another thing I can add to it, and this is going to sound terrible because I do actually, again, also like the show, but I do think it was overrated in a lot of scenarios, and that's Attack on Titan.
That's my second one!
Okay, I thought you were going to say my favorite.
Which one?
Yeah, I was...
No. I was gearing up for that, and I'm like...
No, I
I
don't
was going to
think.
be very disappointed.
I don't think that one really was overrated. I think it is. It's got a really interesting premise that's completely different from a lot of other anime that I've seen. So I actually really enjoy My Hero Academia for its differences. But Attack on Titan,
like character development.
Yeah,
but
Attack on Titan.
I think the first season was not so much overrated, but the seasons after that is really where it became overrated.
It got
for me.
so confusing, and I didn't even finish it. I got to the last season where he got the Warhammer and everything, and I got so confused. Like, just entirely confused. Like, oh, there was this huge time skip. I'm like...
Yeah, I don't like time skips. I mean, I don't like time skips where you don't go back and then clarify
what happened
in between.
Yeah.
Because then there needs
or
to
like
be at least one of those episodes where you're doing flashbacks. You know?
Like a valid time skip. Like, hey, we knew each other as kids, and then it's like time skip, they're both adults.
Their
and
time
meet each other
skip was
again.
not a valid time skip.
No.
It was not.
In that kind of storyline, you really can't do a time skip. You can do hey, let's go back in time, and we can do a past, but we can't really do like a skip ahead.
I tried reading it when it first came out after I watched like the first season, and like they do that whole training montage in the anime. They just do a time skip in the manga. Like the training scenes.
That
in
makes
the first,
me wonder if, because I've never read the manga, but
I
that makes
only
me
got-
wonder if there was that big of a time skip in the manga
Probably because the whole like training montage
It was like 3 years, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
It was a long period, but you know, that kind of time skip's fine because
that was. But it made more sense in the actual anime because you had more context. It didn't go from, we got attacked, to, I am now in Survey Corps, type mentality.
Yeah.
You actually got like a little bit of in between. And I actually found that I enjoyed that filler so much more. It was like one of the times that I actually enjoyed filler.
Well, I mean, honestly, at that point, I don't even really consider that filler so much because it is advancing the story.
Yeah, it progressed the story, whereas in the manga, I just felt like something was missing.
The time skip that happened later was just bad because Aaron was already starting to show signs of just going nuts, but it wasn't dramatic. By the time you see him, there's like this huge amount of information that's missing.
Yeah.
This huge amount. And then Aaron's like not a totally different person, but different enough you're like, what the heck is going on? And then at that point, even like, I think it was only 2 or 3 episodes from the end. And I'm still over here like, what's the good or right thing in this situation? I know that's part of the story of like what action is
What's
right.
the morals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like,
because there really isn't like a good answer in that
there
scenario.
really isn't,
No.
and I get it. But at that point,
But,
because there was so much missing, I was like, I can't finish this. I want to finish it, but I can't finish it.
You just,
I did finish it, or at least up until they, I guess, released some new stuff not that long ago because I haven't gone back, but like I haven't wanted to even because I was like, the last season just didn't feel like a story to me. It felt like someone was just like,
dump?
no, it
It was
felt
like
like,
battle
like
after
when you,
battle.
Oh,
you know, like how
okay,
when
okay.
like you dream, how like nothing connects and like doesn't really
okay,
make
okay.
sense, like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly,
I
like
didn't get
you
very
could be
far.
in a same scenario, but like all of a sudden it's like, like I once had a dream that I was in Jurassic Park and then ended up in my grandma's house. How those two
That's
things,
exactly what it's like.
how did those
Wonderful
two things
analogy.
jump
That is
together?
exactly what it's like.
I literally went from Jurassic Park with a T-Rex to T-Rex staring at me in my grandma's house. It doesn't make sense.
I
And
agree.
That is how the last season of Attack on Titan felt to me.
Yep.
And there were so many things that, like, I feel like granted, it would have been probably classified as like fillers, but there were so many like side storylines that I wish they would have gone through that they didn't.
Should have.
They should have.
Like
Really,
you wanted those
probably.
like ends wrapped up.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I wanted to kind of follow Annie more and everything with like her and all of that because like she came from outside and all this stuff and like
It was a key part, and they kind of just dropped her.
yeah, she just like it was just kind of like, oh, he fought her, he won, goodbye.
Now she's sitting over here. We're being watched, and that's all.
Yeah, like I mean, like let's touch on these things that are a key part of your storyline. Like it's not like like in the real world, you go and you fight the villain and then they just disappear. Like,
That's true.
What? I mean, people are still, like...
They still exist.
Look at one of the world's largest villains, which was Hitler, and we're still like investigating some of the stuff that he did and everything like that.
They're
still
not
finding
just
out
gone
things.
because you defeated them.
No,
Correct.
and like new things that pop up still get brought into the news, and everybody hears about them. So like, you know, why are we just pretending like the storyline's just done and gone? You know, I didn't like that one so much.
Yeah,
So that was, I guess, one of my other under or overrated.
Oh, I 100% agree. I'm glad the two of you picked up
Yeah,
my top two. My last one that I had was Naruto.
See, and I can't speak to that one because again, I've mentioned it before. I can't watch that one.
It was good for when it was made.
I like it, but more out of a sense of nostalgia.
Yes.
Because I watched it every week when it would come out on Cartoon Network as a kid. So that's my nostalgia factor of it. But I think if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't pick it up.
I think it's because the amount of filler makes it overrated. Everyone thinks it's this great anime, and I'm like, that's fine. But your filler is just insane.
It's not horrible. No. But I don't know.
I wouldn't put it in my top 5 though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
my
put it in my top 5.
Loves his Naruto shirt, which is why it's his nickname in this podcast. He's never seen an episode. I think he just really likes having an anime shirt like mom and dad. But that's one of his favorites.
Nice.
Oh, and honestly, when it comes to like anime shirts available for kids, Naruto's gonna have some of the largest selection.
Naruto and Pokemon are the ones that
Naruto and Pokemon. There's one Dragon Ball shirt that they have at...
That was the other one I was going to mention.
They have
I've never really watched it, but I also think that one's overrated.
I haven't either. I think it's overrated as well.
It's one of Nick's absolute favorites. But I watched a little bit when it was on Cartoon Network. Never anything connected, but watched a little bit.
I can't stand the yelling.
Know.
I can't stand the constant yelling.
Yeah, I think I watched a movie
I'm
with
going
him,
to fire now!
And it wasn't horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, I did enjoy the movie.
None of the storyline really has ever attracted me.
I would personally pick up. I'll watch it with him because he really enjoys it. You know? Just like he watches scary movies with me. Not something he would personally pick up, but he'll watch it with me because I want to.
That's fair.
I feel like the nostalgia plays into that. It's like you said. When we were kids, that was all we had to watch and had to wait
what
for.
Was available.
So yeah, we liked it. But now when we have access to like streaming services and all these options, then it becomes like, well,
I'll still occasionally watch a Naruto episode here or there, but that's again, it's like the nostalgia factor for that too. You watch the original episodes that you watched as a kid, and then you're like, oh, I remember watching this in my parents' living room.
I like
Nobody makes fun of me now.
Like if my kids like ever say, "Ooh, can we watch Naruto?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, by all means."
By all means, yeah.
Like when my kid says he wants to watch Pirates for the very first time, I had no other idea what pirates were. I'm like, "All right, here you go. Here's Luffy. This is the only pirates I know." He's obsessed with it now.
Yeah.
So.
We're watching Pokemon at our house.
We watch that too.
Yeah. We watched a lot of it.
I tried to do the Avatar, but they were not focused enough for it.
Oh,
not the live action one.
The live action is not kid friendly.
Oh right. I haven't seen anything.
There are some scenes that I was like, no, we're not showing this.
I have watched with some of the live. I have to say, one of my problems with the live action. It's good. I would still say it's
so
good.
Much better than the movie that does not exist.
Yes, but I really hate how they've like jumbled the storyline.
I think it's out of necessity because they only had so many episodes to get through a crap load of story.
It's rated PG. I don't understand.
But I agree with you. Like I understand why they had to do it, but it doesn't mean I like it.
But there's so many things that they combined together that happen in vastly different time frames in the show. And it's like I could understand if you put some of the things that were close together, but there's like events that happen after Aang goes to the Water Tribe that are now happening before he even gets there. Like,
okay,
I don't like that personally.
The whole secret tunnel.
Tunnel.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry,
God.
but like that was supposed to be a big situation in like the storyline between Aang and Katara,
and they
completely
took that away.
remove Aang from the situation.
Yeah.
He's not even in the secret tunnel.
Well, even when he's not.
Yeah.
And then, on
Ruined.
top of that, when Aang goes and sees Boomy, there's no Katara or Sokka there.
Yeah.
Like, that's gone.
Those two things are happening at the same time.
When everything with Jet's happening,
At the same time,
only
too.
Katara. And there's no, like, Sokka's not there sitting there like, oh my God, he's,
and then,
like trash kind of thing.
Do you remember that inventor
Yeah.
with the kid that's in the wheelchair? That's happening at the same time as Jet.
Just stop.
all of those things that we just mentioned all happen in the same episode.
You're right. It is rated PG, but it should not be rated PG. There are some things, like, we started the first episode, and in the first episode there was, like, some events that I'm like, we are not showing this. This is not gonna happen. He can watch the cartoon, but he cannot watch this. Because I'm surprised. Some of those fight scenes are a little elaborate and a little bit more, probably, I'd say closer to PG-13.
I do think the thing is probably it's more PG-13
It's more PG-13 than PG. I mean, I haven't caught a swear word, personally. But some of the battle scenes are more elaborate and
but you don't
graphic.
have to have a swear word to be PG-13.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, there's more graphic battle scenes that I think it should be more of a 13 situation than PG.
Our parenting choices, we do cuss in our house. As
We do too.
As long as it's not like used in malicious intent.
No, I think it's just kind of. It just happens. Plus,
I'm kind of the personal opinion that when it comes down to it, like, they're just words, and they are going to hear them at other times.
There are words that we don't say.
It's just a matter of teaching them to use those words at the appropriate time frame.
I agree. Because
So
they're going to hear them.
They're going to hear it regardless.
Especially with social media nowadays, like the way that it is, like, there's 6-year-olds being exposed to things that we wouldn't have even been able to have access to until we were probably like 15, 16.
I didn't hear my first cuss word until I was 12.
No,
but now it is like a
not
daily
in our
use.
house.
Ours is like in daily use of like my vocabulary.
Okay, so my parents swore my entire childhood. Okay,
I got in a lot
and
of
then
trouble if I
at
swore.
one point they tried to offer us each our own swear word to use. And the reasoning why was because we
Which
had
one did
head
you pick?
lice. None of them. My rebuttal was, you're allowing me to swear, I am not going to.
Why does that sound so perfectly like you?
It's the Aquarius.
No, they were like, yeah, you have head lice, and this sucks. Because that's just what happens in grade school.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it went through my entire grade, if I remember right. But no, I had it, and my sister had it, and everybody was getting their head checked in the bathroom, and I had a lot of hair, as I always have a lot of hair. It wasn't as curly as it is now, but I had a lot of it.
hair.
And they were like, because this is so frustrating and we're all sick of this, you can have one swear word you can say about this. You can say it in the house, you can't say it elsewhere, but that is your swear word to use. And I'm like, no. I am not.
That's such a pain thing to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, it may work in your favor. I didn't swear until I was in, like, high school, college.
Nope.
So
I was a sailor mouth since 12.
yeah, no.
I feel like
But
the
it was
majority
more
of
of
the
a
time,
rebuttal against the fact that I was allowed to than anything.
Yeah.
and I feel like that's the thing. Like, there's so much like kind of like what's the word? Like, it's like almost like it's counterproductive to like try and like force kids to like not say things, because then they're going to say things.
them.
Like
Yeah.
it's always the equal opposite kind of thing. Like, I swear the number of parents that I saw that, even growing up, that were like, you can't even say damn.
I couldn't say
damn it.
crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't say crap.
And look at how you swear now. It's like, right? So, like, I mean,
Yeah.
not that it really, like, but I mean, those kind of things happen. Like, I feel like the kids that are really pushed to not say anything that could be even remotely close to swearing are the ones that end up having the sailor mouth.
I feel like
Right
the kids
here.
that are the most sheltered are the ones that are the most rebellious.
Right here.
Yeah.
I was very much so.
Whereas I was rebellious, but not to that extent.
So I was.
You know,
are things
we
that
all
I
do
did
things
that my parents still don't know. Sorry, Mom. You
There-
watch this later.
yeah. There are, you know, every kid's gonna rebel in some way, shape, or
Yeah.
or you know, it's just part of growing up. You're pushing boundaries, you're learning boundaries, you're figuring out what you can and can't get away with.
And they start at 4. Heads up.
And we're already there.
Yeah.
I mean, the no dada situation last week. Yeah. No, we're there. But yeah, no, every kid's gonna do that at different stages as they're growing up, especially teenage years.
Oh my God.
Especially teenage years.
I'm not looking forward to that time at all.
But I feel like the kids that are most sheltered and told no the most, and you can't do this, and feel like they can't do the things that their friends are doing or watch the things that their friends are doing, are going to be the most likely to rebel against their parents.
I can tell you, after my parents divorced, and I, had to split my time between my mom and my dad. When my dad, as I got a little bit older, after he got like remarried and everything like that, he was always like, "Oh, well, you should invite your friends over here to hang out because you always want to go somewhere else to hang out." Like, he's like, "What if I want to spend time with you?" It just made me want to spend time with him less. It really did. I ended up spending more time. Even if I was in the room with him, I had my nose in a book. I wasn't paying attention really to what he was doing. I wasn't really like playing games with him and my brother. It was, I'm going to go sit in my room and read the entire night and you're not even going to see me. Like, again, the more you push some of those things, the more they want to go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So.
What's your guys' underrated ones?
Good question.
Listen, I've got
Let me T-pose for dominance on this one.
First of all, I can already say I think that Apothecary Diaries, the fact that it's not better, like more highly rated and more like well known and out there.
It's a new
bothers me.
anime.
I know.
Give it that. It's a brand new anime. Like,
It's not an
just came out.
isekai.
There's
so,
enough episodes out that I think it should be more popular by now.
I agree.
Personally. That's one thing.
I was gonna put it down on mine, but I chose ones that have been out for a while. I didn't
Fair,
pick any
fair.
of the newer ones because
That's
it's like
fair.
they've only been out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But my biggest one is Blue Exorcist.
Oh, I love that one.
Very highly underrated for
is
like
so
everything
good.
that it is a new concept to a certain extent with the whole demons and stuff, but it's funny. The new season came out like
I
this
haven't
year.
watched,
I haven't either,
but I need
It's
to.
one of those things where I need to like rewatch to watch again.
I read a whole bunch of it and then lost where I'm at, but I read well past what the show even has touched. But
I would
Very
say
underrated.
another one of mine, and this is probably not surprising because I've mentioned it a couple times on this podcast
is
already.
it Blood Plus?
But Blood Plus, yes. Yes.
No, girl,
The
you're gonna do
fact
bad
that
things.
nobody really knows, like, I've talked to so many people
cat.
who watch anime,
lands on her
and, like,
feet.
I haven't really, like, met anyone else who's seen it, really. And I thought it was really good. I thought it's a story that I haven't seen redone anywhere.
Yeah.
In anime. Like, so it's not, like, it's its own unique thing.
I have the movie.
So.
I have a movie version of it on DVD that I saw at a random anime showing at the local arts guild when I was a teenager. And then I found the DVD at the FYE in the mini mall that wasn't too far away. Well, before that thing became a, like, it's I don't know. It's virtually like an abandoned building walkthrough if you go in there, except it's not abandoned. That's what that mall is like now.
Creepy.
But I bought that DVD there a million years ago, and then I forgot about it, and then you started talking about that show. I never watched the anime. I just have a random movie.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 2 or 3 seasons, and they're not like, it's not like short seasons either. Because that's one thing, as much as I do respect a lot of shorter animes, there are a lot of times where I'm like, I really wish this wasn't finished in 12 episodes. Please give me more of this story. Or like sometimes it feels rushed to meet the 12 episode like max.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you don't need filler, but you need more expansion on the story.
You're
Yes.
nice.
Like,
Please give us our
so-
movie. Please.
Yeah. But I would say that's another one. I could probably list a lot of things that I think are underrated, so I'm definitely not going to sit here for forever and talk through them all.
I got 2 more.
I've got a couple.
Fire Force.
Yeah, I love
That
that
is
one.
a great animated thing. It is completely on its own. Like the
Yep.
entire
That's another
thing.
one I told you to watch.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. Like, it is completely on its own. I think that's
It's
the good
so
thing about
good.
underrated animes is that the concept of it has to be kind of like completely separate from like the entire of like shoujo or shonen or whatever. And it's great. It's awesome. The animation is probably on tier with Demon Slayer. It really is.
It's gorgeous style.
It's gorgeous.
But the story matches. There's a great story and
It's
progression.
connected. It flows.
There's character development. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that
Very
one a
well
lot.
done. Like that one. And the only other one I have is Fairy Tail. That's the only other one. It's one of people's first. Everyone hates it. And I'm like,
I don't hate it. I just haven't tried it.
It's
love that one.
hilarious. It is awesome. And the arcs, they don't last forever either.
No.
Like the fight scenes. That's the other thing I don't like about some animes because the fight scene that lasts like 50 episodes. I'm like,
Yeah.
with no progression. Fairy Tail, yes, it still lasts a little bit, but there's progression
You're
in
actually
it.
telling. You
usually
can tell
like
what's
right.
happening.
2-3 episodes
2,
at
3,
most that
yeah.
one fight's going on, and it's like
Yep.
distinct sections of the fight.
Correct.
So-
it's
and-
not the same 2 people for the extended period.
Like,
yeah.
because normally there's, like, multiple people having different fights at the
Fights.
same time. So, like, oh, okay, well, you're seeing these 2 people fight. These 2 people are over here fighting. Like, you know, we haven't solved that one, but let's go to this one in the second episode.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and see the final, like, day one of that one.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So, like, I don't mind those because it's moving things around.
100 Year Quest comes out at the end of this year. I will be watching it.
I'm going to totally out myself. I love the style of anime where everything seems like it's normal, but it's not. And those are the 2 that I have. School Live. School Live. You probably haven't heard of it.
I
It
know
is
you've
very
like
good.
recommended it to me.
Oh
but
my god, it is so good. It is like 1 season. That's it. That's all there is. And I won't give
What's
you
that
any
one again?
spoilers.
Like, what's the premise again?
So first episode, the premise is there's a club about living at your school.
Oh, I know which one this is. It popped up on my
Yes.
TikTok. Yes.
Oh, I love it. And it's just like, I won't give any spoilers, but watch the background in the first episode. It's going to go from, you know, everything's okay to something's up to, oh no, in the progression of 1 episode. And then the story is just great after that. Like, I'm sad there isn't more. That's where I'm at on that one. It is so good. And another one that I get really excited anytime I see, like, references or, whatchamacallit, merch for, that just recently, within the last year, had a new season. Surprisingly, it took forever, but, Made in Abyss.
I don't know that one either.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It
I
rings a
know. I know. I have a lot of recommendations.
I've heard about that.
It looks so cute from the first
Could
couple
you repeat them
episodes.
or write them out. Okay, so
Yeah.
our overrated ones were.
Our overrated were.
We had,
You should watch them.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
so
one
we're
of
not
them-
saying any of them you can't watch or shouldn't
No,
watch.
but they
No.
just got more more
much
hype
hype.
than
probably
We
what it is.
definitely
had
for
Attack on
for
Titan,
Demon
Demon
Slayer.
Slayer, and
Naruto.
Naruto.
and Dragon Ball Z.
And
I
Dragon
said
Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. I thought was overrated.
Our
For our recommendations, we had
Blue Exorcist,
I said
Fire Force,
Blood Plus, and Apothecary Diaries.
Fairy Tail.
School Live, and Made in Abyss.
I think Death Note should be on there too.
Death Note, but
I
I think
think
it
it
would
would
be
get
hyped
into
still,
Death Note.
though.
It's hard. I think it's hard to get into, but I
I
feel
loved
like
it.
I think it's okay.
It's not.
I think it's okay.
I
It's
loved
not
it,
my cup
but-
of tea. I think
See,
really.
yeah.
Because
I really
I don't
enjoyed
know.
it, though.
Like,
You're
I think
so welcome.
I think it's just because, like, when it came to Death Note, I really didn't like the main character.
Oh, no one does.
Yeah.
No one likes Light.
That's the whole point of the
So-
show. You don't like it.
Yeah,
Everyone doesn't like Light.
Yeah. If
I
you
don't know.
do, something's up.
It's just like one of those things where, like, I guess maybe it's partially because, like, I'm not used to like
God complex?
story.
I've ruled the world, and here is what I do it with. Sorry.
I mean, like, I just like maybe it's because I'm like not used to like storylines in general, where you have to spend
Nice.
so much time with like essentially your villain.
Yeah.
And that's really what you're doing for the whole
Yeah.
thing. So I've
It's
seen
a
a couple
lot.
episodes, and I was just like,
He's
I'm
an
not
obvious
interested enough to
villain, but
keep
his
going.
morals are technically in like a really good place.
It's a moral
but it's
questioning
not. Yeah.
type situation and a cat and mouse detective story.
Yeah.
And if that is not your cup of tea, it's not for you.
I don't
But
mind
really
moral
liked it.
questioning, but I think the way that I like moral questioning is different from how that was
Yeah.
written.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Because I did like some of the moral questioning with Attack on Titan.
Yes.
So, like
Yes.
that kind of moral questioning,
I feel like it was
enjoy.
confusing though, the moral questioning. Of
Yes.
it overall.
Yeah.
But I think that was just overall how they wrote it. Like if you like, because I sat down and I thought about this. Like, what if I was like living in that scenario? Like, where would I be on this
Right.
spectrum?
Right.
And like that's where like it gets kind of interesting, I guess. But
Yeah.
the story was, I think, written poorly through that part, but that's my personal opinion. Again, I still recommend the series. I don't
Yeah.
like how they did that, but even still, like I like moral questioning. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into the way that they did it.
Yep. I do have a third category
Oh.
of a both.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put One Piece there. Because depending on the fandom and who it is, I personally don't think it's overrated. I think it's underrated only because of how long it is.
Yeah.
And
Fair enough.
the animation changes because it's 20 years old.
I mean, that's just warranted to happen.
Right. And I don't fault anyone for people to take breaks during it, because I did. But I feel like if I have an anime where I love every single character for their own individual things,
It's worth it.
it's worth it. Give it a shot. And I know a lot of people say, you got to get through 30 episodes. Like, you know what? You don't really have to. I think if you can get through the first 10 and enjoy it, because a lot of stuff happens in the first 10 episodes, at least give it a shot. And you can go slow. No one's expecting you to go through all 1,000, because it does get better. You see each character develop. All of them have a character developing the entire time, and that's another reason why I like it.
That's nice, yeah.
But it's overrated because it's so long, and everybody likes it. But there's reasons why.
Inuyasha.
Yeah, I would
I
put that
love
there
that
too.
one. It is a very long series, and I have tried to watch it from start to end. I still have yet to get there.
I
but
would put
part
that
of my
there too,
problem
yeah.
is
I 100% have made it all the way through that.
Oh,
multiple times.
The problem that I have is after a certain point, I can't find it like on regular streaming services. Like if I went and like deep dived, I probably could, but I can't find it with the English voices. I know it's been completely dubbed, but
Is it on Netflix?
yes, but
Netflix
only
doesn't
up to
have the last season of it, which
But
is really weird.
also-
Especially considering that they have like the new show that's supposed to come after it too.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, a lot of times I have found that you get through like season 2 or 3, and then you lose your access to the English voices.
So stupid.
And I have a hard time watching it with the like Japanese voices
you started
because I
with the
started
English,
it in
yeah.
English as a child. Those voices are ingrained in
your
you.
head,
They're
yeah.
not. I can't change it. I can't change it at this point.
And to her point,
Yeah.
My Hero is under one of those both ones.
Yeah, yep. It is very much so very well hyped. Like we've already talked about, but it meets up to that expectation.
It does, but I think the fandom can go pretty bad really
It
quick.
can go. It can go.
It can go nasty. Like people get really upset about like the ships and stuff in this.
They
and
do.
They really get really upset. I know my ship is different than your ship.
Yeah,
I don't discredit your ship. I think
each other
it's great.
shit about it, but it's in a fun, playful manner.
Exactly. But the other thing is, like, when you see them at cons too, they stink. Like, they are just okay. It's just a common thing you see. But yeah, I think it's great. I just think
a great show.
I think
It's a
that's
great
one
series.
of those where it's both because of the fandom. The fandom gets way too serious and way too into it for something that is not real.
Also, I have all of the movies, so if you want to come over and have a movie day, we can watch all of the movies because they do happen in between the seasons.
Do you have the one with the guy with the bird on his, like,
I
shoulder?
should.
Okay, that's the only one I haven't seen.
Okay, I saw that one in theaters.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
I saw that one.
I want to see that one.
If I don't, I can get it.
Sweet.
So, but yeah. No, my favorite is probably the Island movie.
Oh, the one I watched with you?
Oh,
yeah.
it is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the one that we saw in theaters.
Oh yeah.
Yes. The
really
fight
good.
scene at the end of that movie is so beautifully animated that I will just watch that fight scene and be happy.
It's great. It's great.
It's just a gorgeous piece of animation. And if I could watch it on the big screen again, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yep. The only other one I had was JJK.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
I did.
Still another one that I haven't seen.
I have not finished the last season, but that's strictly because every time I tried to watch it, I was so exhausted from working mornings and then coming home and being mom all day. Basically, being stay-at-home mom while also working.
So you have two jobs.
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
It wasn't the show. It was
the
me.
animation's of the tier of Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's great. I just think that it's one of those that there's just another fandom kind of thing where
Sometimes
I think it's
the
more me.
fandom
It's
can
like
make and
they
break
get
it
so
for some
obsessed
people.
with it, like
Yeah.
just obsessed. And I'm more like, I love this, but I don't need to like sit and watch it all. I haven't even finished watching season 2 yet. I haven't.
People make fun of me, or we all had a friend who used to make fun of me because they'd be watching My Hero Academia in the background, and I can tell them which episode it was when they were watching it. But honestly,
I can tell
love
you
that.
which opener is for what season.
I haven't watched it multiple times. I've probably watched it like some of the episodes twice, but that was with somebody who hadn't watched it before. But it's not one that I've watched a million times through. But there are some shows that I have done that with.
I think I've done it 3 times.
I haven't.
My Hero, I think I've done.
I haven't. But there are, I could still tell you. Like, oh, you're on this part of the story from a random still shot in the background of your Snapchat. Yeah, I could still probably tell you.
I don't know. I like. I mean, I'm wearing JJK right now.
I'm wearing My Hero. You're wearing a dress.
Because I was hot and didn't really want to wear like a bunch of clothes, so like dress gets
enough.
flown. This is just the point where I'm at in pregnancy. It's just
I lived the
So.
last couple months of my pregnancy in sundresses.
yeah.
So
And
no
I would
judgment.
love to do
that was right there.
except for how much I work. So
I mean, that I worked too. It was just anytime I wasn't working, it was sundress.
Yeah, JJK is really good. It really is. It's just, I don't think it's too hyped for what it is, I guess. Just because it's one of those ones where there's a lot of fighting and the storyline is kind of lost, especially in the second season.
I enjoy it, but I can get where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't discredit it. I need to watch it for sure. But
I want to watch more of it if I don't fall asleep again.
understandable.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had. I didn't have any others.
I just have a bunch of tiny animes that I highly doubt that you guys have ever seen.
Try me.
I have one from the 80s.
Okay.
Try me. Let's see.
Well, one of them is, and this is kind of like a romance anime, so different style than both of you probably watch, but The World is Still Beautiful. I liked that one a lot. That was really cute. Essentially, it's the premise of the storyline is it's this princess of this one kingdom ends up going to marry the kind of the king of this empire. And I really liked that one a lot. Because there's a lot of character development between the both of them, but especially the man. So I like that one a lot. Let's see. Gosh, I gotta, just so I don't blank on names. because this is where I'm at. This is where my brain is. I can't remember names.
I feel ya.
So,
I can never do names, so you're doing better than me.
Yeah.
I feel there's a lot of animes that are appropriately rated.
Yes.
Where there's a lot
There
of those.
I would say that. I feel like this one I know, at least, I think you said you watched, but I think you might have watched too.
Which one?
I think it's underrated, and that would be A Lull in the Sea. Like, I wish,
yeah.
like, it should have gotten more
That
hype
one
for what
was
it is.
gorgeous.
It was okay.
Okay, I liked it. The storyline made me very
It's
sad.
okay.
I felt things, and
I
the
felt
animation
things, yes.
was gorgeous.
I thought it was okay.
For the time of my life that I
Right.
watched it, it was exactly what I needed.
I guess I could put Food Wars into the over and underrated, because
Yeah.
I think it's a great show. It's got great premise in that, and things change. Like, it's not like the same, even though it is a cooking show the whole way through, it's not like you're running through the
Stagnant
same
animes are the worst.
thing.
They kill themselves.
Yeah, like there's always like somewhere that he's like that your characters are moving to, and there's definitely a lot of kind of a development in each and every one of the characters, even the main character. I feel like his development's a little bit more like subtle though, in a lot of ways, but he does still develop. Let's see. Oh gosh. I really liked, and this was more of a slice of life tragedy style anime, and that was Orange.
I've seen things for that, but I haven't watched it.
I liked it a lot. I read the manga first, and then I ended up reading it, or watching it, I mean. And I liked how they adapted it because they didn't really lose anything from the manga, which is, always a thing that happens with shows, too. So.
Another good one. Nana. That one made me so, like, emotional.
I don't know if
Nana?
I've never seen that one.
Oh my
I don't know that
god.
one.
There is so much that happens in that one show. Like, I think about it and my heart hurts.
Aww.
But in, like, this was a good story kind of a way. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of
I get
way.
it.
Like,
yeah.
I would watch it again and put myself through that again because the story was so good that it made you feel that way. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also mentioned this one before, but again, I don't think either of you have seen it, and it was Alcana, For Rhythm Across the Blue, because again, it's
haven't seen that one.
they have it is a sports style anime, but it's with a completely like made up sport. Like, it's not you're doing soccer, it's not like you're doing basketball or volleyball, because Haikyuu is a great anime. But
I tried it.
The dub needs to get accessed again. No.
I got through some of Haikyuu, and then I
liked Haikyuu.
got distracted by other shows. It
That's-
wasn't that I
it's
didn't
only
like
sub
it.
is available now, so I'm having
Which I
troubles.
watched it in sub, so for me, like, that wasn't like a big deal. But Alcana again has a whole like its own like sport, and they go through and they explain the sport and like how you play it and everything like that. I will say I could really understand if some people don't like the female lead character because she is kind of like the ditzy blonde style character, but I think it's kind of adorable in her scenario because she's just like one of those like super like cheery personalities that like also is like not the most intelligent. I don't know.
I get that. I feel
her.
like those are like the ditzy characters are needed. They really are.
And I think she does develop, really well too, and like she has her moments, but I could definitely see some people being like, I can't stand her just because of that. But I liked that one a lot. Let's see here. There's a few others in here. I know they're down further.
You're just digging through your Crunchyroll.
Literally. Literally. Because again, I watched a lot of smaller animes because remember, like I told you guys in the beginning, like the people that helped really push me into anime were always like, the big ones are terrible. Watch the smaller stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in the smaller stuff, but there's also sometimes a very good reason that one of the big ones is big. I mean, but like we're talking about, sometimes you can like it without, needing to embrace all the extra hype. Like, you can enjoy it.
I think it's sad though that there's a lot of really good like small animes, but then they just don't continue, and that's what sucks.
That's the hard part too.
It's like I'm also one of those people, I don't want to invest in, even if it's only 12 episodes, if it's really good and then it just doesn't continue.
Like there's a couple that I watch that there's nothing else. There's no more.
It's sad.
Yeah.
This was, I'm not trying to go into the show. No, I'm not trying to do that. Thank you. Series info. The Asterisk War was another one that I thought was, again, an interesting premise. It is one of the ones that's more like an overdone kind of premise.
Oh, gotcha.
In that it is like a bunch of like sword battling and stuff like that. And it does kind of remind me in some ways of like SAO and everything like that, but it's not the same.
Franks is a good one.
SAO would be another one that I would say got overrated, but only because like I loved the first game that they were in.
The whole first season was great.
I watched some of the second game. I watched through the second game, but once they hit Gunglaive, I was done. Like, people probably still enjoy it, but nothing could quite live up to where my brain, or like where I felt in the first game.
I haven't started that one.
If it ended at the first game, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, after that whole series, I would have been perfectly fine. But nothing had the same feel as that. And it just, it felt like I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt more like a harem situation than a relationship situation at parts. And then, I don't know. I would say if you watch through the first entire game and then
stop.
Yeah. I feel like it should have been ended there.
I feel like the following seasons after that were just not. Normally, I try to like think of take like a sequel or an extra season as like something separate, because like there's a lot of times where like the first season it introduced you to it, and so as a result, like you feel really strongly towards that one. Yeah. That first season, that first movie, that first book, whatever it is, and I felt like all of the other like seasons just really fell short.
They had their own like flavor to them in a way, but it wasn't what I wanted.
There were several times too where it felt like they were just trying to essentially copy paste the storyline
virtually,
the first one, but just change the game, and I was not a huge fan of that.
And then it just, I don't know, it got weirder as it went on. And there were times where it felt like virtual cheating to me, where like there were almost relationships that weren't actually relationships when the original like love interest relationship was still active and going, and I'm like, I don't like this. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like there were so many like of the other like girl characters that were like, oh, I love him, like he's my man, and it's like, but he's committed
not.
To this other girl
in a committed
who's
relationship,
just, like, not like fully a part of this like episode.
Where there's less of that in the first episode. I mean, or in the first season.
Gotcha.
There's still girls who are like, oh my god, I like him, but it's more of like I'm in this relationship.
But like she's also present too. That helps.
Yeah.
There are some of them where she's not like present at all.
Yeah.
And so it's just like it's kind of like like you're a long distance relationship, and somebody else is trying to creep in on the man.
Almost emotional cheating. Yeah. In a way. I don't know. I didn't like it. Yeah,
no, I would say that one. I don't know. I could. There are a lot of other ones on that list, but that I could list out, but I don't need to sit and go through all of them.
So
what do we want to do for next week?
It's a mom week next week.
Oh, that's right. We're doing every other now.
Every other. It's a mom week next week.
I don't know.
Because the one after that is a reaction, of which people need to send us.
Please send us. If
not, we'll have Nick pick.
I'm
serious. I don't know, because some of us have seen it.
Some of us have seen it.
It has to be one none of us have seen.
That's true.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Nick will pick.
Yeah. So send us your recommendations, or we'll make my fiance pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or I could even have Tyler pick. Like, here, Tyler.
Here,
Go
Tyler,
into
here's
Crunchyroll and pick one.
Pick a
I
couple
could make
in
Zach
case.
pick a couple.
Or,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
We could do that where all of them pick a
Ooh,
couple
we
and
all
then we
have them
compare.
pick a couple, and then we can go through the lists that they pick and be like, okay, well, I've seen this one. Okay, we can't watch that.
Yeah, that's true.
You
We can
know?
do that. We can both how about we do that
Yeah.
now or start doing that
Start
now.
doing that now.
And
And,
then
if
by
you
the
have
time-
recommendations, still send us.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're doing a reaction not next week, but the week after.
Most mainstream ones we've all seen.
Yeah.
Put it that way. So,
If you give us like one of the newer ones, though, there's a good chance that none of us will have seen it. Like one of the new animes. So
True. I mean, maybe. I've seen
depending
Solo.
upon
Depending upon.
what
it
you're
has to be
picking.
on Crunchyroll because it's the only thing that we can watch it on. Well, got Netflix too.
Yeah.
It has to be an available
streaming service.
Yeah, that one of us has. But
Yupperdoodle.
we need a mom thing for next
Not
week.
a mom topic.
A mom topic.
Mom,
I don't know.
there's so much fluff coming out of your chair.
I know.
Mom topic. Let me see what I can think.
We just did a whole month of moms. I haven't built
I
up
know.
my mom topic thought process yet.
Which is why I thought alternating would be good.
Yeah.
We did feeding, we did pooping,
Yes,
We did the ins and the outs.
we did postpartum, we did working.
Yeah.
What other mom things? We could talk about daddies.
Yeah,
Dads.
getting your partner involved.
I
Yeah.
think that would be a good one. We'll do the dads.
And it doesn't necessarily even need to be dads. Like if it's two moms, two dads, whatever.
Right.
Your partner.
Getting your partner
Get
involved.
your partner. Yeah. I think that'd be good. Yeah.
Next week will be partners.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have ideas for topics, we run out of ideas sometimes. Please send them to us.
All the time.
Yeah. Anything. We have an email. We have a suggestion box. Give us your stuff.
You can even message us on Twitch here
That's
if
from-
you're like,
that's
hey, I
called
don't
a-
want you to have my email
Crap.
for some reason, you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
message us on Twitch.
You
We'll
can
still
message
see it.
us. Like I said, on our about page, we have a suggestion box. We do have an email. If you don't mind us seeing your email, you could send us a throwaway email account. I don't care. We're just going to read your stuff that you send us. And
We
then
probably won't.
process
I don't
it.
foresee us sending anything back, so it's not like,
No.
we're going to spam,
Yeah.
no, we don't have spam.
Nor are we
Set
going to
up.
collect and sell your information.
Nope.
No. We're
Not that
three
kind of
busy moms. We don't have that kind of time. We hardly have time to watch TV.
Yeah.
I
Or the
fall asleep.
brains to do anything,
No.
honestly.
I'm surprised we're functioning.
Yep, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right.
Okie
All
dokie.
right. Well, thank you for joining us, guys. Peace
Goodbye.
out. We're going to go enjoy the nice weather.
Yeah.
Mm.
The alarmingly nice weather.
It is really nice.
Later.
Bye.